What's up? Welcome in CHGO Bears Podcast, presented by PointsBet. Use code CHGO to live your bet life and get up to $2,000 in free bets. What's up? Adam Hogue, Nicholas Moriano, and look who's with us today.
Drink that in.
Oh, Big
Drink
Dave.
that in. Hit that horn, Joey. Hit that horn, baby. I'm so excited to be here, man.
He's got the Walter Payton jersey.
Come on, man. See, Adam, you don't know this, man. You don't know this yet, but I am a colossal fan of you. I don't think you know this about me, but dude, when I met you over there, you were the one I was the most excited about meeting when we started here. You were the one. I was like, dude, Adam Hogue is going to be here? Like, I'm looking at you like, you're Adam Hogue. He's like, hey, I'm Adam. I'm like, I know who you are. What are you talking to me like that for? Dude, I've been listening to you for years, man. Like your writing, reading your writing and all that stuff, man. You're awesome at what you do.
Well, I appreciate that. You should have higher expectations, though, for like the people you are fans of. But thank you anyway. I appreciate that. No, it's
yes, sir.
It's awesome to have you here because I am also a big fan of yours and what you've been doing with Matt Peck, who was actually supposed to be here today. We should apologize because we did tease that both of them would be here today for a Bears Bulls crossover. There's this thing called life that happens sometimes, and you know, things come up. I think he had a car issue or something like that. It's all good.
He's getting a brand new car. Like, and I'm very happy for him. Like, clap that up for that.
Okay.
There we go. He's getting a brand new car. It's the car he said he used to drive when he was younger. Since he's bougie, he's getting it delivered, you know, all the way from like Philadelphia because he's fly like that. So yeah, but he's the man, and I'm gonna tease him about it.
When he said he's getting a car delivered, I just thought it was like, you know, you take delivery on a car, like it's showing up to his door.
Oh, he's flexible. Yeah,
Amazon's bringing that.
Yeah. No, where's he? No, I think he
Amazon Prime.
I don't know how he's getting it.
I don't know. You can get everything on Prime, and you can order cars now and get 2-day shipping on it.
That's true. Who is driving it? That's my question. Who's the one delivering this all the way from Philly?
Going to deliver that person back.
You know, exactly. You know what I mean? How's that going to work? I don't know how that works, man, but he's getting it done. Shout out to him. I'll make fun of him later.
He gets W's on, in softball, and now he's winning with the car. Like,
yes,
let's go.
And man. I saw you out. I saw pictures of you out there in softball. Man, you had the guns out, bro.
Yeah, and Adam over here had to tweet about it, and then I have people like, "Oh, I thought the guns would be bigger." I'm like, now I'm like self-conscious. I have to go back to the gym. It's like, all right, thanks.
He's been in the gym for 3 hours the last 2 days.
I'll be good by the next softball.
Can't wait to wear this. He had it laid out on his bed. He couldn't wait to put that on, man.
Well, I'm stoked to have you here. We'll get Peck in here too at some point. Yeah. The good thing is we all work together now, so we can make these things happen. Of course, Big Dave, part of the CHGO Bulls podcast and the awesome shows you guys continue to do. But I wish the Bulls had given you guys a little bit more of a run. Things kind of fell apart, but we had a lot of fun there for a minute, even during the playoffs. And we had that awesome get-together down the street, the watch party, and there's a plenty more events like that coming. But now that you guys are in the offseason, I know you're a big Bears fan, so we want to bring you in here. We'll talk some Bulls, too.
Okay.
I have some thoughts on that. You got a Charlotte Knights hat on.
I do have a Charlotte Knights hat on. Appreciate you for peeping that out, sir.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
Maybe we need to go into a Tim Anderson discussion here. we can talk about that, too. But,
man.
So for our listeners, if you haven't checked it out yet, you got to be checking out Matt Peck and Big Dave on the CHGO Bulls podcast. So we keep telling you every single day we have these shows for all of our teams, and they keep it going throughout the offseason, just like we are. Sometimes I forget this is the offseason.
Yeah.
Like we have that like luxury, I would say, in that football kind of goes a little bit more year-round than some of the other sports. Although I think the NBA is starting to build some of that up too. Like the free agency starts pretty quick. Of course, the playoffs are still going on, which you guys can talk about.
Yeah, they follow football a lot. They're doing the draft combine now. In the NBA. So they're following football steps. But football is king, man. Like that's just what it is. You're not gonna beat that. They have a whole day, dedicated to them. So
I was thinking about that, like when we were watching the draft lottery last night. If that was the NFL, it would have been stretched out over a week and 5 different shows.
Taking place in like an airplane hangar or something like that.
Okay, so that's actually a good. This is why we're doing a crossover event here today, guys, because that came up during the NFL draft. The idea of potentially having a lottery to help prevent tanking. Now, I don't think tanking is as big of a problem as it is in the NBA. I don't think it's even as possible to tank because the way the talent pool is in football, like I say this all the time. The difference between the good players and the bad players is not that, like, you have to be able to play football at a pretty high level just to get on the field in the NFL. And you can say the same thing about the NBA, but, like, the fact that you can have 3 stars on an NBA team and just run away with it, you can't really do that in the NFL. It's more of a team game. So I just think, like, it's really hard to truly tank, so it's not as big of a problem. That being said, what you saw and continue to see with the NBA draft lottery and what you just said, how big of an event it would be for the NFL, I am fully convinced there's going to be a lottery someday for the NFL, just for that reason. Because if you dangle a carrot in front of Roger Goodell and say, hey, you could have this whole event and another, thing that takes over the sports world for 24, 48, 72 hours, they're going to do it.
He's going to be on top of it. Okay, I can see that. That makes sense. For me, yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like, in football, it's so different because you can find the greatest player ever in the 6th round. You know what I'm saying? Than you can in the 1st round. In basketball, plus you only get 2 rounds, in basketball to get it done. But you're right. Like, I can see those dollar signs popping up in his eyes as soon as that's mentioned to him, like a cartoon character or something, man. He's like, you know what? Yeah, we could take over more things with the NFL and football. I can see that. I hope it doesn't occur. I like how it is now. Because football, you can't really tank in. Like, the bad teams are the bad teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start tanking as a bad team probably, week 14 or something, like maybe 15. Like, you're out of it. You're completely out of it, I'm talking about. Just completely done. They can start, tanking. But that's not even really tanking because guys are still trying to win. They're still trying to get those game checks. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, in basketball, it's a little different. You know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to avoid injury to some of your great players and things like that.
Are there any downsides to the NBA draft lottery in your mind?
Oh, any downsides to it?
I don't know if you guys saw Damian Lillard's reaction when they saw they were picking 7th, but he's like, like, it was like, because it is a lottery. It is kind of expected. Like, I don't know if that's like kind of one of the drawbacks to it. It's that, it's a drawing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I don't like the pomp and circumstance it's kind of become. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I think it's being stretched out a little too much for me. Like, just listen, bring out the lottery balls. Tell me what it is. I don't mind, having the players and whoever there, to represent. That's fine. But they stretch it out until like an hour of just talking and talking and talking. Like, bro, you know why we're here. Just roll the balls. It's 14. You know what I mean? Like, just run them out there. We'll figure it out. Let us have a party, and then it'll be over with. So. But that's not going to stop. I know I sound like the old man in the room saying that because it's not going to stop. It's just going to get even bigger and bigger. More, it might be a concert. You know what I'm saying? Beforehand.
Well, yeah, if the NFL did it,
yes,
more leagues.
You'd have a big, it'd be outside at some city that the cities would have to bid on, and you'd be taking it to a ridiculous
level. Ladies and gentlemen,
level.
Casey Musgraves.
Like, what the hell?
Why is Casey here? I'm not mad at it, but why is she here?
But every single football fan would watch it like crazy. The ratings on it would be insane.
Because it's like, I don't know, it feels like in football you're always trying to get some kind of advantage, even as a fan. You think there's some kind of advantage to be gained in anything that's happening. You know what I mean? So even watching the draft, watching the way the guy walks, you know what I mean, in the draft.
That's a player.
That's a player right there. Look at those calves. Look at the bow-leggedness of him. Like, it's pretty good. So it's always trying to just gauge it and look at it and say, no, I know he's good because I liked his suit, the way he put it on. No, he hugged his mother this way. This is a good thing about him.
Analyzing every little thing.
Every single thing from head to toe. And I mean, that's part of the combine too. You know what I'm saying? Analyze everything about that player from head to toe. But from a fan perspective, I think that's why. You think there's an advantage to be gained in every single thing.
Big Dave, I want to ask you real quick. We're talking about the draft and, finding maybe steals in draft. I'm wearing a Jimmy Butler.
Yes, you are.
Shirt.
Yes, you are. Look how he said that.
Jimmy Butler, who went off last night, Big Dave. What are your thoughts on Butler doing his thing in Miami and being I've always liked Jimmy Butler because of his story growing up and being a guy that wasn't an offensive player whatsoever. Had to develop that part of his game.
He did.
What do you make of what he's doing now and where the Heat are at right now?
Well, as I tell you, I've never been a huge, big Jimmy Butler guy, but I've always respected Jimmy Butler because he is the one guy who has always jumped over every single hurdle I had set for him. I'm like, oh, dude, you can't shoot. All you do is shoot free throws. Well, then he became a good shooter. Yeah, but, you can't really score 20 points a game. Well, then you start doing that. Well, yeah, you got to be an all-star, too. Yeah, you got to do that. Well, yeah, you got to make an all-NBA team. Well, yeah, I'm going to do that, too. Well, yeah, you got to win the individual award. Well, here goes most improved player. Well, yeah, you can't lead the team to the playoffs. Well, yeah, he did that. Well, yeah, you can't really go deep in the playoffs. Well, he did that. Yeah, you can't get to a finals. He did that. So he just continues to do every single thing. And to the point I was just like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to say about you, bro. So watching him do what he did yesterday is exactly what good players are supposed to do. I don't think he's a superstar. I know people think he's a superstar. I don't have him at superstar level because for me, a superstar has to do it the entire season. And Jimmy, rightfully so, takes care of himself. You know what I mean? Takes days off, you know what I mean? Relaxes, gets it together. This is why he's not a good all-star player either. He doesn't respect the all-star game at all. But after that, when it comes to the playoffs, he's always prepared. He's always ready. And you see what he was doing yesterday, man. Those shots he was hitting were crazy. Number of respect for him. When he went to Miami, I immediately said this is the perfect situation for him. He's not going to be asked to be the best dude on the team because of the way the team is set up. So when he starts to take over, it's going to look bigger. You know what I'm saying?
True,
because of who's around him and things like that. So, but he's been honestly the best player in the playoffs this year. You can actually say that.
Yeah. What I appreciate, I mean, he's guarding Jason Tatum too, and then he's dropping 40. So
right.
It's like, that
he's always been a
player.
Good defensive player.
Always.
That's true. Yeah. I know you shed a tear or two watching that game, man. I know you did.
Oh, man. I'm like, get it, Jimmy, get it. But I'm like, man, it was.
Because you wanted him here. So it hurts you
Yeah, no, it does hurt because, when that whole rift with him and Derrick Rose were going on, it's like, I felt like fans were picking sides.
Yeah.
Right? And just everything that Jimmy, I love Derrick Rose.
Right.
But then when you see how it ended up happening, it's like, damn.
Could have had it, yeah.
Still like Jimmy Butler a lot, though, man. I still have this shirt from freshman year of college. So
no, man. I'm sure you had it laid out too.
I laid it out just like I did for the softball attire I had last Sunday.
But I still find myself rooting for Jimmy Butler.
That's fair. Yeah,
and for all the reasons you laid out, it just I'll tell you a quick story.
Sure.
My wife has a friend who literally grew up with Wesley Matthews.
That's a flex.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not like I know him, but when she got married, I ended up spending an entire weekend with the wedding party because my wife was in the wedding and Wesley Matthews was in the wedding, right? So it wasn't just a random conversation. It was you kind of got to know him for 48 hours, and I've never seen him again since that weekend, right? But, of course, at some point, I try to respect, we don't want to talk about basketball the whole time. This is what you do for a living. But, it came up, and we started talking a little bit about the Bulls. And this would have been right after Jimmy Butler's rookie season with the Bulls. And, at that point, we're like, okay, he's a good defensive player, probably.
What's he going to become?
What's he going to be overall? Because he doesn't really score a whole lot.
Right.
And those were kind of what our expectations were at that point. And he goes, because remember, he played with them in college at Marquette. He goes, dude's going to be really good. You watch. He goes, watch. He's going to take over. He's going to get a lot better. And even in that moment, I'm thinking, he's just talking. This is his boy. He's just talking to some random idiot like me. And he's just saying what he's supposed to say. But I think about that all the time now when I watch Jimmy Butler because everything that Matthew said came true, and quickly. Because it started immediately after that. The dude just took off.
Yeah.
And, it sucks that he's not in the Bulls anymore, but he's obviously had his issues in each stop. And,
he did. Yeah.
Not a perfect player overall,
no.
Man, when he has a game like he did last night, I still enjoy it.
I completely understand that and agree with that. And you're right. That, you can, when you're drafting somebody, you can, look at their height, their size, their athleticism, anything like that that's on the field. But what it can't measure is effort. You know what I'm saying? And your heart and what you're going to put into that. And his heart, I think that's his biggest gift right there. You know what I mean? It's his effort and his heart. That dude works harder than anybody. Nobody is going to outwork Jimmy Butler. And the proof of that is his game. You know what I'm saying? Just watching how it evolved. That man, Tibbs was trying to destroy that man's knees. You know what I'm saying? 47 to 48 minutes, he was playing.
That's another guy I still root for, Tibbs.
See, yeah, man.
I don't know why. That's your guy. I guess I got nostalgia for those.
I feel you, man. That was a great time. You know what I'm saying? It was the last great time, for this Bulls where everything felt kind of right. Because we had great players here and guys who played the way that, Chicago actually respects. And I tell that to people who are Bulls fans that don't live here. It's different when you're here And because I talk a lot about goons. You know what I'm saying? I talk a lot about having that guy that's always about that effort. And I have some friends who don't live here who will say, no, that's not that important. You know what I'm saying? To have that. And I'm like, no, bro. Here in Chicago, you know what I mean? Like the athleticism and all that will put them, you know what I'm saying, in the seats. But all that heart and muscle and stuff will put you in their hearts. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They'll love you for that. Taj Gibson, Kirk Heinrich, Nocioni, for goodness sakes. Like
people love Caruso right now for a lot of the same reasons. That effort and heart absolutely they play with, for sure.
I still like Bobby Portis when he's doing shit against the Bulls. Right. Like, stop that. But also, I still think it's cool. So keep it up.
You're so right about that, man. And yeah, you always going to have your favorites. I mean, the Bears are no different. You know what I mean? Even when they leave, you're still going to have your favorite kind of guys you root for that you just like, yo, I want the best for you. And, yeah, it's just like that.
That's why wasn't there that clip or quote that ended up from the Chicago Bears when Charles Tillman talked to the team a couple weeks ago. And he said something along those lines like, if you just, like, pour everything into this and play hard – man, Bears fans are going to love you forever.
Embrace
You'll eat forever.
Yeah. And, he didn't even say win the Super Bowl. He just said, play a certain way.
Yeah.
And they are going to love you. That's the city to a core, really. Mm-hmm. About any of our teams that we root for, you play a certain way. Like, I even like Adam Engel on the White Sox a lot just because, dude, when he's in the lineup, you know he's going to catch the ball. You know he's going to run hard and hustle every single time. He may not be the greatest hitter on the team, but he's improved at that too to be able to stay in the big leagues for as long as he has. So those are the types of players I think like Chicago just falls in love with and will respect no matter what. So
Aaron Rowan was another guy like that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Running face first in the wall. That was smart, but
we loved it.
Got to be a little nuts. Right. I appreciate it. All right, let's talk some Bears.
Sure.
Just wanted to get your thoughts overall on Justin Fields, where he's at, and are you feeling good about what the Bears have done this offseason? Are you in the camp? Because speaking of like ending up in camps, it seems like right now there's like people that are either panicked over them not helping Justin Fields, and others that are like, all right, let's let this thing play out and see what he can do. Where are you at?
Oh man, okay. So I'm in a weird place. You know what I'm saying with the team, because honestly, and this is completely honest, I thought about turning in my Bears fandom card previous year because I was just tired. I was sick of it. Matt Nagy drove me insane.
Like last fall or the year before?
The year before last fall. Matt Nagy drove me.
COVID year.
Yeah, he drove me absolutely crazy. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't stand. Like, you got David Montgomery. You're not running the football. How doesn't he get 20 carries a game? I couldn't understand it. I understood, why you took him out on passing plays when he first got here. Man had hands of stone. Okay, I get that. But he worked on that. Clearly, he worked on that in the offseason and became an every down back. So you give him that role. You know what I mean? And so give him the ball. It's easy. You get down around the goal line, just give it to him and let him run. He deserves 20 carries at least. And there were so many games he wouldn't even get close to 20 carries, and they're wondering why they're losing certain games. But I just got sick of it. I felt I was continuing being lied to by the organization, by Matt Nagy, by everybody. And I was like, I'm out of here. And then Justin Fields. And you know what it was like, Adam, Nick? You know what it was like? It was like being in a relationship, a bad relationship. And you see they're not getting better. They're not trying to do anything to get better. You know what I mean? You're like, you pack your bags. You're about to leave at the door, and you turn around to get your bags, and they're on their knee with a ring. You know what I mean?
The ultimate.
That's what it is. That's what Justin Fields was for me. They were on their knee with the ring saying, all right, I will marry you. Damn. That's what that was for me. Justin Fields came in here, and I was just over the moon, happy and excited. Because I've seen greatness at every single position for the Bears, including long snapper. I've seen greatness at every position except quarterback. It's the only one. I've never seen great. I've seen good. I've seen awesome. You know what I mean? Jim McMahon was awesome, good. Last, Pro Bowl QB. You know what I mean? Cutler, wasn't a huge fan, but he was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, the numbers will tell you that. He definitely had games where I'm reminiscing about that Chargers game when he hurt his thumb. I thought we were going to the Super Bowl that year, man. I was so excited. But, yeah, he had those stretches. Even Mitch, had stretches. The 6 touchdown game against Tampa. Like, he had stretches where you were like, okay, He's got it. We can do this. And then it would just fizzle out, and it would just go away, and then we're back to square one. I've never seen that at the quarterback position. So I was scared when we got Justin Fields. I was definitely excited, but I was scared of how he was being used because I'm like, okay, we're going to put Andy Dalton over him. I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, make that make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be, okay, we're trying to learn here. He's the number one pick. You know what I mean? Let him in there. There's nobody better than him. You know what I'm saying? Behind that. If Andy Dalton is better than him, it's because of experience. It's because he's been in there longer. I get that. That's fair. But let this kid get out there and show you what he can do first. You know what I'm saying? Before we're just like, nah. And I thought Matt Nagy did a terrible job, you know what I'm saying, trying to use what he does best and does well. So I was scared for his career. I was scared for it, man. So once he left and I get an Eberflus in, who I call the White Lovey Smith. Shout out to him. He's awesome. No, for real. Like,
I love that.
Defensive minded, very positive, running the 4-3. You know what I mean?
You must be excited about the Texans game like I am.
Oh my God.
I feel like I'm the only one excited about that.
I can't wait to see it, man. I get to see Papa Lovey with the beard, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all about that. But yeah, but seeing Justin, you know, have this offseason where he gets to walk around being the man. It seems like he is comfortable being the man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He has always been that since high school.
And more importantly, it seems like his teammates are comfortable with him walking around like he's the man. Because I don't think that was the case with Jay Cutler.
Completely. Oh, yeah, he wasn't comfortable at all. He had to learn those things. Yeah. You know, Cutler, man. There's a lot of things he had to take off, including weight. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things he had to take off of himself to make himself like, yo, I'm the face in the franchise, you know what I'm saying, of this Chicago Bears organization. Justin walked in immediately like, yeah, I got number one for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that dude. So I love it, and he knows it well that he's the man, and he's wearing it well. You know, the off-season workouts, you know what I'm saying, bringing the guys in, bringing the receivers in to work out with him, you know, down in Georgia and things like that. Like, he knows he wants to be that guy for the Chicago Bears, and now it's just time for him to get out on the field and prove it.
Big Dave, let me ask you this, because we haven't seen much of Justin Fields yet, right? Obviously, he wasn't even the starter come last season to begin the season, but there's also this criticism from national media outlets, like this unfair treatment of Justin Fields. I don't know if you've seen a lot of that going on right now, but what do you kind of make of how, I guess, bigger outlets are perceiving Justin Fields at this moment, despite not even, you know, he barely played in his rookie season, and he's just going into year 2. But yet there's all this, I feel this negativity surrounding Fields because of maybe what the Bears did in the draft or the lack of weapons. What is your kind of thoughts about how Justin Fields kind of being perceived from the outside world?
I think you hit it right there. Like, the weapons, the lack of the weapons that they put around him, even though they picked up a couple, you know, especially after the draft. You know, they picked up a ton of receivers and things like that. But I think it's that. But also it's because it's the Bears. Like, that's how I look at it.
They have no credibility when it comes to them.
Zero credibility. You know what I'm saying? How can I believe in you when I haven't seen it before? I'm looking at your track record. Like, no, you guys usually suck at this position. You know, why would this guy be any different? You know what I'm saying? Prove it to us. And we know that you suck at this position, and the year we saw him, you didn't believe fully in him. So why should we believe fully in this guy? When you got a team that doesn't put out quarterbacks, doesn't believe in him, what do you want us to do? So I get that. I don't agree with it, you know what I'm saying, at all. I think Justin Fields is going to be amazing and going to be awesome because he loves challenge. You know he does. You know, I know you know this. He loves challenges, man. He can't wait to get on something and prove someone wrong, you know what I'm saying, immediately about it. And I can't wait to see him do that. Having a year with that knowledge that he got, which is the other reason I wanted him to play. That's the only way you're going to get better is by getting out there and playing, especially football, especially the quarterback position. It's the only way it's going to work. So the fact that he got out there and did that, he can take that back, you know what I'm saying, and just come back stronger and come back better. He's already shown you he's tough as nails. We've seen that. Those hits, sacks, my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, they were breaking that kid in half, man. So I understand why they feel that way in the national outlet. I get it, and it makes sense. I'm just not with it because I really do believe in Justin Fields. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah, and that belief in Justin Fields is something I want to touch on here. But first, got to tell you the best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app. Use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. And if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. So that's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. Any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and Big Dave will respond to you personally.
Oh, yes. What? Yeah. Send me I give you my personal number. It's a Google number, but yeah. But I'll answer it. Yeah, sure.
Your home for live in-play betting just got even better. The live NBA same-game parlay is going on. Pretty good with the playoffs. Could have had that rolling last night. Maybe hammer the Heat.
Bet on
Jimmy.
Going
well for the Celtics early on. Get a little in-game parlay. That would have paid off pretty good for you last night. And you could boost your live same-game parlays. Watch live, parlay live, boost live with PointsBet. An online sign-up is available in Illinois. Download the PointsBet app right now. Register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. What are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I have a question for everybody here.
Sure.
Do you want to start your day with a competitive edge?
I think I do.
Okay. Big Dave, Adam?
Yeah, most days. Yeah.
All right. Here's how you can do that. Strava CBD coffee is a game changer and has helped thousands of people to improve their overall wellness and quality of life. Strava delivers delicious, fresh roast specialty coffee infused with organic, broad-spectrum CBD. Just so you know, CBD from hemp doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer real benefits that can help you, like feeling alert and focused without the jitters, living your day more balanced with less anxiety and fewer aches and pains. Plus, including CBD in your daily routine can even help you enjoy more restful sleep so you can wake up feeling at your best. And the best part about all of this, Strava is all about quality. Everything is small batch, fresh, and shipped straight to your door. Strava also offers concentrated full-spectrum CBD tinctures for those looking for a more traditional CBD format with a powerful entourage effect of benefits. CHGO listeners can save 25% off their entire purchase when you use code CHGO25. That's 25% off your entire order at StravaCraftCoffee.com when you use CHGO25 at checkout. Discount coupon valid on non-description purchases, only one use per customer. Already love Strava? Subscribe and save with the Strava Coffee Club. With Strava, you are in control. Save on your favorite coffees and have them automatically delivered, like Matt is getting his car delivered, to your home or office on your preferred schedule.
I still want to know who's delivering the car.
Yeah, that's really the question of the day. Here, right
Amazon,
here.
guys.
So.
And then,
tune in. We're going to find out.
What does he do? He's just like, all right, man. And then he starts walking back to Philadelphia.
He just starts walking on foot.
Like Forrest Gump. He's starting running country to country. Like, what you doing? Well, I'm tired now.
That's like, you need a ride? Or?
Right. I got a car.
All right. I lost my mind a little bit in my Bears Things column that came out today at allchgo.com. Get those memberships and you can read it yourself. But I've had enough. I've had enough of the ridiculous idea that the Bears' grand plan is just to abandon Justin Fields, make sure he sucks, and draft a quarterback next year. I mean, the logic, the lack of logic, I don't know like how the – what do you call them? Synapses in your brain? Is that the right word? Like,
we'll go with it.
Something's going on. Something's not connecting there. If you're having that thought that you think that is the grand plan of a general manager who had multiple options, could have gotten on a plane to go to Minnesota. You know, it was going to be a GM at some point anyway. His grand plan was to take over the Chicago Bears and tank and throw Justin Fields, all the good things we just heard Big Dave talk about, just throw them away and give them nothing. I mean, there's absolutely no logic to the idea that they're just abandoning Justin Fields. So if you ever have that thought, just delete that thought immediately. Okay. And this idea that they're even tanking, let's start there. Okay, let's say you have a good defense. but your secondary kind of sucks.
Okay.
So what you do in the draft is you draft 2 plug-and-play starters to fix that problem in your secondary. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Granted, you did trade Khalil Mack, but overall, you kind of fixed the problem that you had in your defense. That's not how you tank, people. Yeah. If you're going to tank, you make sure your defense sucks. Yeah. So no matter what your promising quarterback does, you're still going to give up too many points to win.
That's a great point. And you know what? And when that draft happened, I had 2 reactions. I had a meathead reaction, then a logical reaction. And when I saw it, and I was like, oh, here we go again. You know we need a receiver. Here you go, getting defensive guys. This doesn't make sense. And then I sat and I thought about it. I was like, yeah, the secondary stunk, though.
Yeah, it's like, I swear everybody forgot that for a couple months.
Yeah, like it was really, truly bad, to watch that. And to your point, I think if you get that receiver, that's how you tank, honestly. Because if Justin and that receiver even have a great year, it doesn't mean that you're winning games. You know what I mean? It just means that you had a great year with your receiver like that. You know that how that defense is because the other team gets the ball, they're going to score. You know what I mean? What, are you going to outscore them? Bears ain't doing that. I've never seen the Bears really outscore anybody except for like Eric Kramer year. But my God, like it's not going to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? So I really liked how he approached it. He said, let me fix the issues first, and then I'll go and we'll give you, the things that you need. I always equate the Bears to a car, okay? And you mentioned Khalil Mack. I was with trading Khalil Mack last year. Because I saw the writing on the wall. Like, dude, we see it. It's time for him to go, and let's not waste, his years here, man. We love Khalil Mack.
You must have read that crazy trade Khalil Mack for Dak Prescott column I wrote.
I did.
That wasn't a bad idea, by the way.
I don't think it's a bad idea, man.
It's just the Cowboys weren't going to trade him.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
Which is cool. They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. Dakota is awesome.
Hey, you never know. Great. You got some crazy teams out there. I mean, the Seahawks just traded Russell Wilson.
That's true.
Oh, shout out Russell Wilson. Favorite quarterback in the league is Russell Wilson. I love Russell Wilson. But yeah, man, I wanted to trade, and I equate the Bears to a car. And for me, Khalil Mack was rims. And the Bears need an engine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want to look good losing, in other words. You know what I'm saying?
I like that analogy.
So you didn't need those. You know what I mean? Like, so let's get rid of that. Let's fix the carburetor first. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the water pump and all those other things before we get all those luxury pieces. And that's what they did in the draft. You know what I'm saying? They fixed the engine. And I knew having Ryan Poles there, the offensive line was going to get tended to. I mean, of course, when they got, Lucas Patrick and things like that, that was a huge step for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he's elite at that position, at center, excuse me. But I liked how he did when he said, I'm going to fix that. Then, Justin, let me show you how much I love you. You know what I mean? Let me get you some offensive linemen to protect you. You know what I mean? Because also what this does, guys, and you guys know this, the quarterback and the offensive lineman, have to be in sync. It has to be peanut butter and jelly. So it allows them, with a young quarterback and a young offensive line, to kind of grow together. You know what I'm saying? Like, develop their relationship together. He doesn't really have to come in and deal with too many veterans who are like, okay, I like it this way. No, you come in and they're like, what way do you want it? You know what I'm saying? And that's huge, you know what I'm saying, for a guy getting his first time on his first team. He can't be, you know what I'm saying, just being, I guess for lack of a better term, subservient to other guys. You know what I'm saying? He has to be the one. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason he's wearing that number 1. It's got to be the one. It's got to be on him. Where do you want the ball? You know what I'm saying? What count do you want it on? You know what I'm saying? I got to know how your voice, inflects on certain things so I know, you know what I'm saying, which way I should be looking out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to call out that Sam linebacker for you. I'm going to call out the mic for you. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I want all of that for Justin Fields, and I think that's what Ryan Poles is seeing also, too. He understands that it has to be in sync and in unison for this Bears offense to actually, for this Bears offense to actually look like something.
Yeah, and I think, too, like, for the whole idea of tanking, it's like that doesn't fit, and we've talked about this multiple times, Adam. It doesn't fit in the timeline of what the Bears want to do. 2023 is supposed to be the year that you have all this capital, you have you cap space as well, that you can go and make a run.
Yeah.
And you need Justin Fields to be a part of that, because if he's not, then you're starting over at the quarterback position.
Yes.
So that doesn't fall in line with what you wanted, these big aspirations for 2023. Yeah. So the whole idea of tanking, yes, they didn't draft a receiver in the second round. That's fine. They did get a Velus Jones Jr. They added some veterans as well. We'll see how that all coincides with Luke Getsy's offensive scheme that he's bringing from Green Bay. But the whole tanking, like when you wrote your column, Adam, I was like, yeah, I'm with you on this.
Well, it's just I don't know. The other thing is I just don't know what people wanted him to do differently.
Yeah.
Did you want him to trade future first round picks for Chris Olave?
Right.
Is that what you want? Like, because here's what Ryan Poles is not doing. He's not doing what Ryan Pace did.
Hello.
Which was after one mediocre season from his rookie quarterback, he went out and traded for the rims.
Yes, he did.
He went and got Khalil Mack, and he mortgaged all the future because he was double downing on a quarterback that he loved. And I appreciate, I have respect for that conviction on a player, but you can't be wrong then.
You got to be honest with the evaluation, too. It's like you're doing it for the sake of thinking that he can be the guy.
Yeah.
When there probably wasn't an honest evaluation there, to be completely honest.
So after just one sort of kind of promising, like, okay, he could be good. Let's, no, we're striking now. We're going all in. Doing what some people want Ryan Poles to do, which is like go spend huge money on a wide receiver or offensive lineman or trade for some of these guys, would be possibly making that mistake again because you still don't know if Justin Fields is good. I think he's going to be good. You guys obviously think he's going to be good. Ryan Poles thinks he's going to be good. Everybody thinks he's going to be good. We don't know, though.
Right, correct.
You have to watch the season play out. Correct. So I just feel like of all the fan bases that should understand this, it should be Bears fans. Like, that's why I think I'm struggling so much with this. Is you just saw this play out with Mitch Trubisky. And, again, we all think this is going to be better with a better quarterback.
Right.
But you don't know, so you can't mortgage the future now. You just got to do what you can to make the defense better, the whole team better. You draft best player available. Essentially the situation that you have now is if Justin Fields is good this year, maybe, he said, despite all this stuff, doesn't have a lot of weapons, but you put him in a situation where your running game should be better. You could have ball control. You can win field position with takeaways and a good special teams unit. Those are all things that also help quarterbacks, everybody.
Yes, it's a thing.
So he impresses, and you're just like kind of a mediocre team. Yeah. Now you got all this money to play with next year, and you got draft picks and all this stuff to supplement that you didn't have the last time around when you blew it all on getting Mitch Trubisky in the first place and then double downing on Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't work out, well, now you still have the financial flexibility. You still have the draft picks to rectify the situation.
Correct.
So I just struggle how people don't understand that right now.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Bears fan, we're used to seeing trash at that quarterback position, so I don't understand. And we love the backup, right? Like Bears fans love a backup. It's always about the backup. So I think it may be weird for a lot of Bears fans to go into a season with a guy who's like the one. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and I'm not saying he's the one. He's going to be the greatest quarterback. And that's not what I mean by that. I'm saying he's your QB1 for sure. You know it. You know what I'm saying? For your future. You know it. This is the guy, you know what I'm saying, going in there without the questions, without the people behind him. He's the one. There wasn't a thing where you're like, he still got to learn certain things. Like with Mitch, it was certain things he still had to learn, you know what I'm saying, as a quarterback. Yep. Still learning, correct. There are certain things. With him, with Justin, he came in ready-made. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, no, he was the dude. You know what I'm saying? He was already that guy. It wasn't a risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always a risk getting any player, but it wasn't a risk like, no, he was that guy. He's going to be good in the NFL. He's supposed to be, good in the NFL. That's what it's shaped out to be for him. You know what I'm saying? Set up to be.
He was really like Deshaun Watson coming out, but without the knee concerns. Correct. And then obviously taking out all this other stuff that's
obviously
no one knew at the time of the draft.
Obviously.
But like that, he was that like college star that had all the accolades that you felt pretty good about.
When do we have that? Like, I can't name you a time where we've gotten that, you know what I'm saying, as a Bears fan. Like, just thinking of all the quarterbacks we've had, and it's been a plethora of terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a whole lot of trash here. And that's why I have to give Justin at least a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me give this man a year And then I can properly critique it, because obviously we saw him not do everything right. You know what I'm saying? In that first season, we saw it. You know what I mean? Holding the ball too long, his wind up is too long. You know what I'm saying? Not seeing the receiver that was wide over there, but trying to run and make a play. You know, instead of making just the easy play. You know what I'm saying? Always looking for that big play. You know, kind of thing. Yeah. That home run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get that, and he would take those home run sacks because of it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So yeah, I can think he can grow from those things, you know, and get better at that. You know what I'm saying? The verbiage that I'm sure he's going to have to learn. And now we actually have, okay, here's a quarterback coach with you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, he goes to Aaron Rodgers. Well, yeah, that could help. You know what I'm saying? That could be a thing that helps you be a better quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Point out things you didn't see before. And I'm going to get the same center that he was using as well. You know what I'm saying? I think that could help you as well. That might be a good thing for you. So, yes, I did the same thing with Jay Cutler. I wasn't critical of Jay until he got everything he wanted. You know what I mean? When he got the receivers he wanted, the coach he wanted, the coordinator he wanted, the offensive line, the center he wanted. I wanted Garza at center. He got everything he wanted and was still average. That's when the critiques begin for me. I'm doing the same thing with Justin. They're setting it up around him, and once I see him have everything, now he still needs to see. I still need to know who the receivers are. I know Mooney is good and all that. But I still need to see that. But once I see all that, then I'll be able to, better attack.
Okay, real quick, I hate to do this to one of our commenters. Joey, can you help me out here? Can we get Ezra's first? Ezra has 2 comments kind of back. Well, there's actually 3. You can skip the middle one. So let's see the first one up here. We didn't run the ball at all with one of the best running backs in the game. Shake my head. And then let's go down to the next one. How can you evaluate Fields with no line or no talent? This is I think the mistake that everybody's making, okay? Because they're putting in a running game now. Oh yeah. What?
They have a fullback.
A what now?
Yes.
They have a fullback.
I had a 5-minute conversation yesterday with the running backs coach about the fullback position. You know what I mean? And he's telling me about how it creates an extra gap just by having him in there. Just making the deep, wow. They never really put in a running game. Yes, they had David Montgomery. Yes, they had linemen, but they weren't even it wasn't even a thing. Yeah. Now they are installing that. So put the quarterback aside for a second and just understand. Take the names off the back of the jerseys. Ryan Poles played offensive line. He knows offensive line. Okay. They brought in a coaching staff that wants to run Shanahan principles and run the football outside zone. They're bringing in linemen. Again, forget the names on the back of the jersey. The guys they kept, they feel like they fit, or they're tweaking their bodies a little bit to fit, and then they're bringing a new guy like Lucas Patrick. There's going to be more. They drafted 4 guys that they like. They're bringing in and installing an actual running game to start with. So forget about the names. Forget about the money that you could have potentially spent on, the big name free agents that were out there. Just think about the scheme and what it could look like if the coaching staff actually does what every single one of you people, including myself and all of us here, complained about for 4 years about how they didn't run the ball and didn't commit to it. Okay? And then if that works, and I'm not even saying they're going to lead the league in rushing or anything, just they have a functional running offense. Yeah. Think about what that could do for the quarterback. Again, don't even think about the talent. Just think about what that could do for a young, talented quarterback as good as we all think Justin Fields is.
Absolutely true, man. And, I talked about seeing greatness at every position. Running back, it's just been an overflow, you know what I'm saying, of greatness for the Chicago Bears. Because even beyond David Montgomery, there was, Khalil Herbert, you know what I'm saying, who's awesome. You know what I mean? Filled in completely awesome and admirably for this team. So I'm like, okay, now I got 2. You know what I'm saying, that I could deal with. And you're saying now I could put in a fullback, you know what I'm saying, for the Bears with that. That is called commitment. That's putting a ring on it. You know what I'm saying? That is committing to it and saying we're going to do this, because also Justin also runs the football as well. You know what I'm saying? So that becomes a threat as well. So you're making your offense better by committing to a run game, because your quarterback does that also. So you got 3 options back there you have to worry about as a defense. So now when they run QB option play, they actually make sense now. You know what I'm saying? Like that actually is a logical thing now. Like, wow, okay, this worked. How come it didn't work under Nagy? Well, because he was just throwing 23 skidoo out there and just running stuff. Z4 Razor or something off of, Xbox. It didn't matter, man. But yeah, now there's a scheme, and it feels like that's what I like. It feels solid. That's the best way I can say. It feels like a solid foundation. And that's why I'm in a weird place. That's why I said that, because I want to believe. I want to get back to that level of belief. But I've been so hurt.
I know.
I've been so hurt, man, by this team.
That's
man.
the ultimate Bears fan trump card. Like, there's nothing any of us, if you get in any type of argument with a Bears fan about anything, and they're just like, yeah, but at the end of the day, I just
he's hitting up hurt.
I just know it's not going to end. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right.
I can't say anything to that. I know that's how it ends. That's how it works.
That's how it is.
I want to pick up this conversation about the running game, but first I have to tell everybody about PointsBet. If you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us to continue to grow is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. Not only are you going to get 2 risk-free bets of $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. And you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. If you have any questions, email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You'll be signing up with the fastest sportsbook, easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
I also thought there were some subtle comments from Trevor Siemian yesterday, the Bears' backup quarterback, that you should pay attention to. He was talking about himself and his own fit in this scheme and why you wanted to come to Chicago. And he mentioned about how it's a quarterback-friendly scheme, how the wide zone helps the quarterback, and he kept mentioning the word play pass. Play pass is another term for play action that coaches, players tend to say play pass more than media and fans call play action, whatever. It's the same thing. How many times in the last few years did we talk about more play action? Like, establish a run, help the quarterback with fakes, boots, which we're also seeing in practice, by the way, getting Justin Fields on the move,
Big Dave.
cutting the field in half. So when I hear Trevor Siemian talk about those things, about how, he's been in a few different places, and he's like, I want to get back into this scheme because I feel like I can play my best football in this scheme. Even as the backup, as he's saying these things, I'm going,
yeah.
It's an offense that should be friendly for Justin Fields to develop in.
Boom, right there. Again, building around the number one guy. That's all I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, to just build around him and then pass or fail after that. You know what I'm saying? And you guys made a great point about how they built this year, but it's not at the detriment to their future. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, if it doesn't work, things ain't working. Next year, they can address a lot of things money-wise. You know what I'm saying? They can address a lot of things, a lot of issues that they might have. Who's going to be healthy? You know what I'm saying? Who had that up and down year? You know what I'm saying? Will Akeem Hicks be back here? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things. Robert Quinn, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know Robert Quinn, an apology, I was very hard on Robert Quinn when he got here, man. He put together a heck of a year.
A lot of people.
Oh, man, listen, brother, I was hard. Hard body on Robert Quinn, man. But
my guess is you weren't so much hard on him as you were on the organization for going out and signing a player who was as old as he was, who played his best football in a 4-3, not a 3-4.
Fact.
There's some stats out there that show he's a better player on turf than he was. Like, there was a lot of things that were fair criticisms, but still credit to him because he came out and smashed all that last year with an incredible season.
Like, he would just disappear. I wouldn't see him. You know what I mean? I would forget he was on the field. And that's what would bother me the most. Like, I don't care if you're having a bad year. And this goes for any sport. I don't care if you're having a bad year or a bad time. I will always only be mad when it comes to effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I see you out there and you're not putting in the effort, then I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? I'm upset. And as y'all might know about me, I'm not a guy who gets angry easy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. So that's what upsets me the most is I felt I wasn't getting that effort from him but he gave it all. You know what I'm saying? Last year, shout out to him. Had an incredible season, man. But I want to see. I'm very interested in seeing, how it looks like this year, another year. He's getting older, obviously. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That D-line has been the Bears thing for a while now. You know what I'm saying? They've had guys, you know what I'm saying, at the D-line. So that's going to be interesting to see, especially running that 4-3. And now they're bringing back one of my favorite parts of the defense when Lovie Smith was here was the ball hawking. You know what I'm saying? Going after – that was my favorite part of the defense is every time there was a turnover that they were trying to get a turnover no matter what. Yes. And it wasn't I'm just playing with it and I missed a tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like giving up the tackle to get the turnover, to try to get the turnover. The Bears walked that fine line amazingly, because they did a lot of gang tackling under Lovie. You know what I'm saying? So if 4 people are there, then here comes Tillman trying to punch it out. They did it that way. So I'm interested to see that because we saw a lot last year, them trying to get those turnovers. Guys like Eddie Jackson and stuff like that who were trying to get those turnovers just didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? For them, they gave up, they sacrificed the tackle. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, and it just led to like a lot of Matt Peck hat throws across the room and things like that. But so that's what I'm very excited to see that as far as the defense is concerned because Gordon and is it Brisker?
Yeah.
Brisker. Those dudes.
Did you see the highlight yesterday? The Bears put it out there. Actually, I think we talked about it on our show, and then after our show, the Bears actually put the highlight out there. I mean, nice play.
Yeah.
On the ball yesterday. So I do think a lot of that. Yeah, they're bringing
translating, man.
I'm
they're
excited,
those
man.
Turnovers. Big Dave, you were mentioning kind of like the good old days with Lovie Smith and being like when the Bears were more relevant. When just kind of your origin in becoming a Bears fan? When did that start for you? When did you start watching you're hooked? Like how did that kind of start for you in your fandom and obviously wearing the Walter Payton jersey and being as passionate as you are about the Bears?
Oh man, okay, here comes some long stories for you. So I grew up a Bear. I was kind of born into it, I guess, Bears fan. And shout out to my older brother, who's a colossal diehard season ticket holder, Bear fan. And I remember when I was a kid, I was a little kid when the Bears won the Super Bowl. So I don't really remember it. I remember it, but I don't really remember it kind of thing like that. But my brother is diehard. And I remember around that time, San Francisco was also that team. Like Joe Montana, Jerry Rice was all that team. I was like, that's my team right there. My brother was like, no, they're not. Your team is the Chicago Bears. We root for the hometown, bro. And he drilled that in my head is we don't quit on the hometown. We roll with the hometown team. So that's where it was kind of born for me. And I knew it was love because I stayed, you know what I'm saying, through all of it. And that's where it was born. And because, like even with this jersey, like I used to buy a lot of Bears jerseys. I remember I was in college. I bought a white Cade McNown jersey only because it was white. Okay, because it was rare at that time to get a white Bears jersey, and Marcus Robinson jersey, blue. And the Cade I wore all the time because it was fresh. Like that white one is ill, right? And I was like, cool, we got a quarterback finally. Because I remember that QB draft was deep with quarterbacks, and we pretty much got the worst one outside of Keely Smith or something like that as well. But it was deep with quarterbacks, and I was like, fine, I'm just going to rep them. And then I remember when we got Rex Grossman. Remember that draft? They had Michael Hayes, and then they got Rex Grossman. I was like, cool. I took that jersey and some gray masking tape, and I put it across McDowell's back, and I wrote Grossman on there. I'm like, I'm riding with Rex. It's what it is. And then Rex got hurt in the preseason and was out for the year against the Rams. I walked that jersey right outside and tossed it into the trash. I said, I'm never wearing another Bears jersey again. And then a friend of mine who I used to work with presented me this because he knew I was a huge Bears fan. And he gave me this jersey, man, a long while ago, probably like 2006. He gave me this jersey. And I was like, okay, this is the only Bears jersey I'm ever going to wear ever. Because when I go to other people's stadiums, like my sister-in-law, they're season ticket holders for the Bengals. So when I go to the Bengals, I have this jersey on. They'll say, you know what? We don't like the Bears, but that's sweetness. We respect that. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to disrespect you and come here in a Rex. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? That's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. I'm coming in there. So I wear this all the time. Last year, for my birthday, my brother bought me a Justin Fields jersey. And it looked like a plague to me when I saw it. I was like, I don't want to put this on, man. I don't. And I put it on once because I used to call games for Hot Mike. Shout out to Hot Mike with Matt.
Yeah.
And and I put it on. I believe Justin had a terrible game, and I immediately took that thing off and I hung it right back up in the closet, and that's where it's going to sit. I'm not putting that thing back on again. Matt wants me to wear it again to break a curse. I can't do it, man. It's something about the sweetness. I mean, it's sweetness. You know what I mean? You can't go wrong with Walter Payton. You just simply cannot do it.
I'm with you, man. I mean, Bears fans been burned on jerseys too many times.
Too many times,
I mean, even like a couple of years ago, you'd be like, well, 52, and that's a slam dunk jersey to have. Now you go to Dick's Sporting Goods, and that's the clearance rack, man.
I bought a Khalil Mack Raiders jersey when they got him. That's how much I wasn't going to get a Bears jersey.
That's awesome.
I bought a Khalil Mack Raiders one just for that reason. So.
Yeah, because that's going to be like a cool retro jersey.
It is. See?
Yeah.
I got in my head.
He's
with me right there, son. He's with me.
But, yeah, I mean, because look, my son's 7. His 2 jerseys so far. One was a Trubisky jersey.
Okay.
And one was Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard. Yeah.
Okay.
Who could forget that one year?
Right? 2-4, right? 2-4. But that one year, you go to Target, and that's that
was the
jersey
one
that I had hanging up for a kid, for like a toddler.
Yeah.
Because they don't put the real jerseys in there for toddlers. They're like the fake knockoff.
Yeah, right. Like kids won't care.
So they're not even the real. But you know what I mean? Like, and now if I was going to get him a star jersey, like you want to make that leap for Justin Fields. You all want to, but you've been burned too many times.
I'm so scared.
34 is the way to go.
30. It's the
safest one you can get.
Yep.
It's probably one of the safest jerseys you can buy in all sports.
Facts.
That in 23.
Facts, sir. Ooh, yes. Ooh, yes. He is absolutely right. Well, according to you, 21 also.
23 jersey. Yeah,
I don't want to be here with you don't want to be sitting here with a Jimmy Butler jersey.
As long as you're not as bad as our good pal Will DeWitt with jerseys.
Oh man,
he's bad with it?
But see, he's a grown adult. That's why he deserves it because he should know better.
Okay.
My 7-year-old's just putting on whatever his parents.
Oh man! So he's got a lot of them.
He had Allen Robinson, Khalil Mack. Who else?
Eddie Jackson.
He did get a Fields jersey too, though. So
okay, all right.
I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but
oh man, I'm scared, man. I'm terrified. My brother was so excited to give it to me. You should have saw him, man. He was so happy. He's like, "You're gonna love this." I'm like, "Okay." No. I was hurt. But shout out, man. I'm ready to watch this season. I'm just ready. I'm ready to see it and what's on the field because Ryan Poles has been competent. You know what I'm saying? So far, he's been completely competent in all the moves that he's made, including the coaching and the people he's brought in to support the coach. You know, and all the way up to the draft and even his free agent signings. Outside of the guy on the Bengals, failed his physical. But, he didn't know that. You know what I mean? But it was a good decision, you know what I'm saying, to get him in here. So I'm rolling with it. We're going to see what it looks like, man. We're going to see what it looks like.
Big Dave, appreciate you coming
so
in.
Much, man.
At BAWL Sports on Twitter.
Big Dave.
He's the best. We'll get you back on here. We'll get Matt in here, too.
Oh, yeah.
We'll keep it rolling.
He's going to tell you about my love of Ryan Nall when he gets in here. He's going to tell you about my love.
He's a Ryan Nall truther?
No, me.
Oh, you are?
No, me.
Oh,
we didn't get into that. We'll say that for next time.
For the next time.
We'll say it for next time.
What a teaser for next time. Hashtag Nolan.
Nolan, yes. Oh, man. Trust me.
Awesome.
It's ridiculous.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Hope you enjoyed the show today. CHGO Fire Podcast coming up next year on the YouTube channel. For everybody listening to the podcast, we appreciate you too. Please rate and review the pod. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, notifications, that like button, everything. We appreciate your support. Check out our friends at PointsBet using that code CHGO. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk to you at 11 a.m.